Complex put out the hip hop media power ranking list.
Yeah, we were on it.
We were both on it.
Yeah.
What'd you think? By the way, Elliot Wilson was on here the other day, and we went literally piece by piece through the whole 25-member list.
Yeah, he was,
and picked
like,
it apart.
Where was he at?
He was 5. I was 6.
Here's what I will say. You were 6 and he was 5? Again, I know the people that did the list, and I was grateful to be on the list. I don't believe
You're 23, by the way.
I was not 23. I was 11.
This year, you're 23.
Oh, they put me back on again?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about a list.
Yeah, you're 23.
So I went from 11 to 23?
Yeah.
Well, Carisha was 7 when I was 11.
She's not on the list anymore.
But fuck a list, right? Here's the deal. My impact is felt regardless if I'm on a list or not. And the impact of that list was felt. Well, it wasn't felt because I didn't even know I was on a list. Yeah, I don't care about the list. What I will say is that I don't believe that you're 6. You're what?
6.
And Elliot Wilson was 5. When was the last time Elliot Wilson did an interview that went viral?
Well, me and him talked about that. And I said that, just to be honest, because, me and Elliot have that type of relationship where it's like, yeah, I felt that he was a little high on the list because the amount of content he puts out is not that high compared to other people that are on this list. You know what I'm saying? He has big interviews. He's had big interviews. Like, he did the Drake interview, and he's had Nicki, and he did Jay-Z, and so forth. He's got legendary interviews, but he doesn't put out content and do interviews all the time.
So that's my point, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you put out a Dinosaur. Does that make you a dinosaur? No, it makes you did a great interview. And I'm not shading Elliot because I like Elliot. I mean, we talk in passing. He's not a friend of mine. He's not on my Christmas card list or anything. But when it comes to what's relevant right now in the pulse of what's moving the culture, Elliot Wilson's name does not come up like that.
Well, I think his point, and I think he has a valid point, is that when he does comment on stuff, on certain people, those people usually respond. Like, remember when he made comments about Nicki and Kai Cenat? Nicki, responded right away.
Yeah.
Both Drake and Kendrick responded to him. They both called him a rat. He's not quite sure why. So that does prove, to his defense, that he's relevant enough for all the big dogs to actually respond and listen to what he has to say. Yeah. So that does show relevancy.
Yeah, and I'm not saying what I'm saying as a way of shading Elliot. Let me be very clear. But that's not happening on an everyday basis. The pulse of what's moving the culture every day is not coming from Elliot Wilson. And so, again, I don't know what this list is supposed to represent. I don't know how you go from 11 to 23 or why I'm even on the list, because I'm not a hip-hop platform. So when you talk about hip-hop media, are you saying because I'm black? Black is not necessarily hip-hop.
You do enough hip-hop.
Yeah,
coverage.
but
you interviewed me, and I'm hip-hop. You know what I'm saying?
But I am not a hip-hop platform. So when if you want to say, top 25 of influential media, whatever you want to say. I
see what you're saying. Like, Shade Room's not on the list, but you are. And Shade Room's obviously a big urban platform.
But they're not hip-hop either.
But they overlap. And I see what I'm saying, but they're not on the list. So it gets weird sometimes.
You're in hip-hop, okay? Yeah. Academics is, where was Academics?
1. Academics 1, Joe Budden 2, Kai Cenat 3, Charlemagne 4, Elliot 5, me 6, Ebro 7, Anthony Fantano, Danilo Drop 8, Gillian Wallow 9, Nardwar 10, Nori 11, Lil Yachty and Mitch 12, Rory Mal 13, Bootleg Kev 14, Angie Martinez 15, Big Boy 16, Angela Yee 17, Sway 18, Nadeska 19, Traplo Ross 20, Van Lathan 21, Adam 22, you are 23, Arshawn Jawade from Kids Take Over is 24, and Gay P from On the Radar is 25.
Yeah, see, all those people belong on the list. I'm not a hip-hop person. So, if you ask me what bar in Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us was the best, I don't know. A minor, that's the longest one in the club. I don't fucking know. But again, I don't really care about the list because it didn't make me feel great when I was number 7. It doesn't make me feel bad when I'm 23. Thank you for putting me on the list, Complex. But, and again, no shade towards Elliot Wilson. It's these lists that come out. When they said Carisha was number 7,
yeah,
it puts out an interview once every 3 months. Okay, I love Carisha.
But how they just announced a new season of Carisha, Please?
And I love what she has done with that show, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. coming back. But that, the list. I'm not a list guy. I want an Emmy. That's what I want. I want an Emmy, maybe a Golden Globe or an Oscar someday. But I want that. But I'm not dying for it either.
Yeah, when I saw that Carisha Please is coming back, and I saw it on Baller Alert, shout out to Robin, I left a comment that said, Carisha just opened her mouth. Someone go hand her a BT award right now.
Well, because she got the BT Best Hip Hop Platform.
Like twice.
Yeah. Again,
yeah.
That's why I'm not going back to the BT Awards anymore. Not only that, they had invited me in, you got front row, camera seats and all that, and then they put me in like row 15 with Lil Boosie and Lil Mama. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Shout out to Lil Boosie. Thank you for connecting with him, by the way. Still waiting on you to bring your ass to the show. So yeah, I'm not going back to BET Awards. And then that, like, how do you, again, no shade towards anybody. I'm only answering questions that Vlad is asking me. If he did not ask me, I would not be saying this. Okay, I do not believe that Carisha Please deserved the BET Hip Hop Podcast of the Year, whatever.
Yeah, she actually tied
with
Nori,
yeah,
which was wild. Because Nori really put in work. Yeah, like Kanye, and
which is it's just
Nas
insane.
And everything.
But that just goes to show, like, the lists and the awards don't really matter. I mean, they're nice when you're putting in the work and you're doing as much work as you're doing, or I'm doing, or Nori's doing. But like, I don't lose any sleep off that.
Now, at one point, Hollywood Unlocked was on the Revolt YouTube channel.
The Jason Lee show was.
Which is different.
Yes.
Okay, but no longer. I looked.
No. Jason Lee show is only on Hollywood Unlocked.
So what happened with that deal, and why is it no longer on?
Yeah, so the whole Jason Lee show came about from me being petty, because I was really close to Wendy Williams. She got sick. They asked me to host her show for her opening week of season 18. When I went to host the show, I had all these ideas. I want to bring this person, this person, this person. I'm going to do this, this, this. They loved the ideas. These were guests that they couldn't get. And then the owner of the show said, well, who's going to co-host with you, because you're not big enough? And I just was blown away at, like, this 70-year-old white dude who didn't know what I do and wasn't familiar with anything that I had been able to accomplish at that point in my relationship with him.
Well, I don't think that's that crazy of an ask. Let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? We're still new media, and you're talking about television. It's not a shot at you. And if they asked me that same question, I wouldn't be offended.
Thank God they asked the question, and thank God I'm not you, and I got offended. And I went and created my own fucking show.
Well, so did I.
No, but I'm saying I needed that moment to go and do it, because I had been meeting with them about having my own show. So we had been meeting about the Jason Lee show, creating a Jason Lee talk show, 5-day-a-week, daytime syndication. I've been to Fox, I've been here or there, because that was my vision of what I thought Jason Lee needed at that point to have a show. And so when he called, what he said was, hey, Jason, it's your lucky day. So my lucky day is you calling me to give me a show. My lucky day was to serve as a replacement for Wendy for her first week, which would have been an honor, because she's the queen of daytime talks, queen of daytime tea to me. And so when they asked me who would co-host with me because I wasn't big enough, at that point I just said, fuck you. And I left. And I went and I created my own show, The Jason Lee Show. So my fuck you to them was, let me get it on a network. Let me get on a black-owned network. Let me beat you in the ratings and show you what I can do and book all these guests. And I did that. So I did a 23-episode deal with Revolt. I launched with Cardi. Then I hit back to back to back. And we were killing them in the numbers. I think at the time, Sherry was on, and we were looking at her numbers, and we were looking at the numbers we were doing. And we were doing a lot better. And then after the contract expired, it was a licensing deal where I still own the show. I just felt like, I want to do it on my own. I want to do it on my own platform. I look at people like you who are built out your own platform, and I did it just as kind of like a fuck you. But after I did the 23 episodes, I left, and then all the shit happened with Puff, and it was happened before I left before all that.
Yeah.
So that was that.